What's going on, Buff Nation? Welcome back to another video. So, coming off a tough loss to Washington State, Coach Prime addressed a few things. One being Cormani McClain, who seemed to struggle last night, getting beat all kinds of ways against Washington State, allowing for a lot of yards. And Coach Prime spoke to that and where he thinks Cormani is headed. Then Shedeur Sanders, obviously he was taken out about, for second half of the game and didn't play for the rest of the game. So what does his future look like? Is he going to continue to play for the rest of the year against Utah, or is he going to just rest up and start thinking about what is to come for the next season? He addresses those thoughts as well. But then again, he kind of just goes over the entire identity of the football team. Where are we? A tough loss like that. Haven't really faced a loss that atrocious since the Oregon game. I mean, he kept, just reiterating that all weeks leading up to this game, and just every game. So thus far, as look, every game we've been in it. The only team that we haven't was the Oregon game. We got off the plane and we were down 30. That's how this game felt. Got out of hand extremely early. Felt like there was some momentum when we could, to get going back, and then they allowed for the kick return to happen. It was just, you couldn't get your one foot in front of the other. And once that happens, the momentum gets sucked out of the room. It is extremely tough to bounce back. But got a lot to go over. Let's take a listen to what he had to say, Coach Prime, about their identity and what Colorado is as a football team currently.
Is this performance out of your team?
Very, very. Because it's not who we are. And I'm still trying to figure out our identity, trying to figure out who we are in turbulent times. And I still don't know. After all these weeks, I still don't know.
And that's something I think kind of he alluded to last week as well, right? We don't have the ability to win in a close game yet. We don't know who we are, right? Think about basketball. When you've got a guy, your number one guy, you go to him in the clutch moments. Right now, I think Shedeur Sanders obviously is your star-studded player. He is, what you're going to be like. But with the fact that they can't guard anybody, it's hard to always rely on an incredible passing game. So it's like, who are we? What are we trying to be? Totally understand that. And obviously a lot of work going into this first year. That is something you're going to have to deal with, especially going into the portal. It's going to be tough to figure out what that identity is. Now, going into this next year, going back into the portal, being established in Colorado, I think they'll have a great understanding of who they are going into next year, especially with some of their key players coming back. There are some key players who will no longer be eligible going into next year. We have a whole other video discussing those because there is some big time players that will be impact and that you will need to go into the portal immediately and be aggressive to fill those needs. We'll get into that. Also to note, Coach Prime, he was sick during this interview, so he wasn't very as energetic as he usually is. He also said that it's going through the team. Didn't blame it on the lack of success last night, but that is the reason for his lackluster energy as he usually has. Now let's talk about Shedeur Sanders, because again, him being sat out, me personally, right, if we're thinking ahead, would you want to sit Shedeur Sanders out? Obviously you always want to play, you don't want to quit on the football team, but if you're playing at 80, let's say 75%, and even Travis Hunter being in late in the game last night, I think the reps are good for him, but almost got hurt on one of that big catch towards the end of the game, and you're down 30 points. Question is, why are you playing? Why are we risking this? But listen to what Coach Prime had to say about Shedeur Sanders in his future with the upcoming weeks.
Any thought to maybe shutting Shedeur down the rest of the way?
Shedeur's not that kind of player that he wants to shut down. He wants to finish with his teammates. I'm pretty sure. I haven't talked to him about it, but I'm pretty sure he wants to finish.
As you review the second half of this tape and go into next week against Utah, how much are guys kind of auditioning for where they stand going into the season?
I don't know about all.
Look, I think, he has the L on his jersey for a reason. He's a leader, and that's something that is going to be, thought about and, has to be taken into consideration, that he is a leader. He's going to step up and be a leader at a time when most people would crumble. I keep going back to just thinking about what Ocho said about, Caleb Williams sitting out for the rest of the year because his season might be over. Drake May. We're hearing a lot of this now of guys quitting on the season just because it's not going the way that they planned. I think it speaks volumes to a leader saying, look, it may not be going the way that we want it. I may not be 100%, but I'm healthy enough to go out there and make our team competitive. So for those reasons, I'm going to play. I'm going to give my guys my all and continue. Again, you're going to be a leader falling into next year. So for me personally, I think selfishly, you want to think, okay, I want to preserve you. It will be their last game of the season as they are no longer both eligible. So why not go out there, I guess, and sling it away and just maybe work out some kinks and kind of get into a good rhythm going into the next year. But we'll see how this week plays out, how his injuries heal, how he bodes with, recovering through the week, having, this game off. And I'm sure he'll take some week off. We'll be able to see. But next up is Cormani McClain. Look, man, it was great to see him get the start. It's great to see the progress that he's made this year thus far. But he was getting beat up and down that football field last night like nobody's business. The slants were tearing him up. They're just beating him north and south. It was hard to watch because you could tell he wanted to be out there. You could tell he was frustrated. And like Coach Prime always reiterates, is that the team doesn't quit. And I believe that they felt like they were constantly, just frustrated, wanted to do better, wanted to continue to perform. Nobody really got quit on each other. I loved his passion. But here's what Coach Prime had to say about Kermani, then we'll continue to go about it.
Good.
Kermani, big week for him. You talked about how proud of him you are. It
Yeah.
looked like they were targeting him and going after him. Is
Well,
that
that's
kind of
gonna
part of
happen.
the learning process of the year?
It's not only the part of the learning process. Sometimes these young kids don't understand what you put on film is indicative of what a coach is going to attack the following week. So they probably seen some insufficiencies on film, and they went at it. But he has to be ready to stand up. He didn't give up. He fought to the end, and I'm proud of him. He's certainly growing. There's something wrong with a plant that don't grow, and that kid is certainly growing, and I'm happy that he's growing. He's not giving up. He's lining back up there, bumping and running, and he's fighting his butt off. He just needs time. He just needs time and repetitions.
Look, I love hearing this because I promise you, I can assure you, Kermani's going to get roasted after that game last night. He already probably is. And with coming out of the high school as a 5-star recruit, there's a lot of expectations to you perform well. And I understand that. And again, being a 5-star stud, the idea is that you can almost be a plug and play, that you come right in. There might be a few learning curves, but not too much. As of now, the criticism is going to come that he didn't look like a 5-star cornerback last night because he was being taken advantage of, finding his holes in his game, and they just exploited the hell out of them. But I think Coach Prime made a good point where we're not behind the scenes, and he's mentioned this before, right? We're kind of looking into the tinted windows there of maybe in the past, things like this would happen. He would find a little adversity in the game and quit on himself, kind of, throw a little fit. Because remind you, this kid coming from high school was him. We remember his recruiting process. He was treated like royalty, and it is a big reality check for a lot of these guys. It is a hard transition. So I think this is a huge compliment to the fact that, look, he notices the growth. Sometimes a stat, sometimes in a single game doesn't determine how far you have come as a player and as a person. I think Coach Prime constantly, saying how well he has performing, especially how brutally honest he was a few weeks ago, shows that Coach Prime's not holding any punches here if he needed to be. Now, obviously, I know there's been a lot of rumors and thoughts of whether or not he's going to transfer. I haven't seen or really heard any kind of true smoke under that. I don't believe that he will, just how things have played out. I think he's getting his playing time. I think he's in the best case scenario, in my opinion, to really flourish as a player and as a human under Coach Prime. Just look, again, on the other side of the football field, what Travis Hunter has become. Just be patient, I think. And I think Kermani is starting to learn that and believe that I am getting better. I have a lot of holes that I have to work on. A great offseason, some great practice with Travis Hunter, with Shedeur Sanders, and Shiloh alongside of you. You should be excited for how you're going to improve as a player in the upcoming season. And I think if there's a reason to stay in that transfer, there's 3 of them right there that I just gave you, not including Coach Prime as being your head coach. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to smash the like button. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on what Shedeur Sanders should do. Should he play? Should he sit? I want to hear from the fans how you guys feel about it. And again, we'll see how it plays out over the next few days here. But I do want to hear from you guys. Smash the like button, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.